how you remove your clothes, like you remove your trouser, and that's how I was feeling. But I was the whole of me was coming here. But at that short time, I was able to see everything that is happening around me, around my friends, around my relatives, family. And the people I called my friends, I realized were not my friends. They were rejoicing over my condition. And then I was looking at the relatives, the people I called relatives. Nobody was bothered, you know. And I was looking at the only person that was hurt at that point was my mom, my father, and my brother. They were the only people that were genuinely crying for me, because at that point I could hear all their thoughts. Because now I was in the spirit. I was in the spirit realm more than the physical realm.
Seeing your brother
Evans, we left him in the compound, but he was crying for me. I didn't know that he loved me.
Oh, sorry. That was a powerful moment.
I didn't know that my brother loved me, regardless of what I had put him through. We were enemies. But it's for the first time somebody I thought was my enemy, in reality was actually my friend. So the enemy had turned me against
the people who loved you most.
Against the people who loved me most. My mother, that I had been trying to kill, was genuinely crying for me. And my father, that I was supposed to turn mad, was he was
trying to find a way,
money to save my life. So the people I was working with and working for were rejoicing because they desired to get what I had. And I was in that condition because of them. So I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to call upon the name of the Lord, because at that point I was bound. I didn't know Jesus, you know, and even if I knew a little about him, because I was coming from a Christian family, I could not trust him, because in my heart I was like, if my parents were serving Jesus, why would Jesus allow the enemy take me? So I was also bitter with Jesus, so I didn't know the truth. Had I known the truth, I would have been set free at that point. But in that shock, life is getting out of me. I started feeling this upper part tearing. Death is a painful experience. When we come in this world, we come through pain, and even leaving the world, we live in pain. So I started feeling this upper part here, like tearing, and then as it's tearing, my life is going, and then that's when my mama is crying and screaming, and a bike guy came and stopped. I said, Mama, let me help you. Where are you going? Mommy said, I'm going to that compound, but I cannot cross with this girl. She's dying. I'm losing my girl. And my mom, the bike guy, mobilized for people to stop the vehicles, and they put me on the motorbike and they pushed it to the compound where my auntie was. Now that's where my auntie stays. And that's where I wanted to make a confession before I die. But at that point, I could not, because I had literally left my body. So I was now almost now getting out, because I'm feeling this part is opening. This part, that's when I know that when a person is dying, they live through this part. It's like a door. It's a seal that only opens in death, and the silver cord is broken. Once it's broken, a person cannot come back in their bodies. So they started calling my auntie to come. They were telling her that Erica is dying, she's not going to make it. They put her in the compound. People had surrounded me, and my mom was crying, but in her crying, she interceded and said, God, please don't take my daughter. I covenanted my children to you. I made a covenant with you that my children will serve you. That time, I had now started leaving my body, and I'm following a certain light, but at the end of that light, there are demons that are waiting to take me. Those demons that were torturing me had come to take me.
The same ones.
The same demons. So now that's the time I'm fighting. And they are saying, Erica, she's going. No, don't go. You know that time when the people are crying that you don't leave. You don't, and yet you're dying. I'm kicking and I'm fighting. My eyes are rolling and they are crying that Erica, don't go. And me, why I'm fighting is because the demons have come to collect me. And then my mom is talking about the covenant that she made with God on my behalf. And she's holding her stomach and she says, God, I made a covenant with you that my daughter will serve you and the dead cannot serve you. When will she serve you? Is she going to serve you when she's dead? And when she said that word, it was so powerful that the enemy could not touch a covenanted child. I just found myself back in my body and I opened my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, the first word I said, Mommy, I'm so scared. Everything is scaring me. And that's when they knew that I have come back to life.
Wow.
So parents, you covenant your children to God.
During their childhood.
Covenant them to God. Enter into a covenant with God concerning your children, like Hannah covenanted Samuel
unto the Lord.
Unto the Lord. Covenant your children to God. No matter how the enemy tries to steal them, every time he tries, you remind God of that covenant, because our God is a covenant God.
Wow.
Because of that covenant, those demons could not take me. Death could not take me. The angel of death could not hold me. Because of that covenant, I came back into my body. And as soon as I came back, my auntie also came. Yet I had been seeing her in the office rejoicing, thinking
she could see that you were dying.
Yes.
And she was happy.
She was happy. Their mission accomplished. She wanted to destroy her brother. They were the reason as to why I was there. I forgave them. But I share this to help people, because many people are losing their children and they don't know what to do. Many people are losing their lives and they don't know how to get out. So they took me to her living room and she pretended like she's, I told her, she first sent my mom to get me some food, and I told her, I'm going to confess. I'm going to tell my parents that I'm in this condition because of you. And she said, no, you don't have to, because you have overcome the condition. And even us, we are also, it's not like we are also free. We are also in the same condition as you, but you had messed up. She tried to make it look like I'm in that condition because I had failed the missions that had been assigned to me. So, and she said, I'm going to mix something for you that will make you better. And then I'll request your parents, I take you to South Africa and then we meet a bigger witch. When we meet a bigger witch, your condition, this falling sick, will stop. And indeed, she tried to consult my parents. To allow her
to get you into more covenants.
Yes,
because it was a covenant that had saved you. But now, if you enter into another covenant,
yes,
that's another problem.
Yeah. But when she brought that idea, my mom said, no, my children are covenanted to God. They will never enter a shrine. So she gave me some.
She tried to suggest to your mom, hey, let's take her to another shrine.
Yeah, that the enemies that are fighting me are strong. So she needs.
Meanwhile, it was her who was actually fighting.